What's up? This is episode number 1 of 10K on the Bay, where I go over why I want to list 10,000 things on eBay. Let's get into it. So, I'm not new to eBay. I used to sell Jordans, Supreme, and Bape when I used to live in New York City, and those brands are awesome. Like, I personally know a couple of people who've made over $1 million just reselling Supreme, Bape, and Nike. Just 3 brands. They made over $1 million. But without exception, all my friends that made a lot of money doing that have rich parents. It's very expensive to do Supreme, Bape, and Jordans on that scale. You need a lot of money and you need to be able to wait a long time to sell the rare Jordans. You need to be able to spend $2,500 on 10 pieces and wait 6 months to a year for it to turn over. So I don't have that kind of money. I actually think you need about 100 grand to play in that game because you just do. It takes a little bit longer to sell things. Back in October, I actually was playing Pokemon Go, and all my old Pokemon stuff became super popular. That's why I got back into reselling. I have to shout out Rake and Profit because he basically was on YouTube talking about eBay and men's clothing, which got me started. This is back in October. I started thrifting. I started to realize there is no shortage of used clothing anywhere in the United States. As long as you have good sales skills, you can get used clothing for basically free. You can get it for free. If you go to a garage sale at the very end when they're closing up, or if you go to an estate sale, or you go to a thrift store, or you go to the Goodwill outlet, you can get clothing for $1 or less on the regular. It's a lot of work to process and you have to learn it, but it's a good way to get started. And I'm actually going to build a business off of it because it's predictable. So, why 10,000 items and why eBay? Well, the main reason for selling used clothes on eBay is because it's the largest platform for used clothing. And the reason why I picked 10,000 items is because the Anchor Store, which is eBay's highest subscription, is $300 a month and allows you to post 10,000 items with that subscription. So that comes out to 3 cents a listing. So for 3 cents, you can reach their millions of buyers. There is no cheaper form of marketing than that. As long as you describe your item properly with the right keywords and the right pictures, people will come to your items and buy them. So that's the first reason I picked 10,000 items is because it minimizes the exposure as far as the fee per item. The second reason is because I know with my current skill set, I can't do that. I don't know how to get to 10,000 items because I sort of figured out what it takes to have that kind of store. And I'm a big fan of you attract what you are, not what you want. So if you want $1 million, doesn't matter. But if you are the kind of person that has the habits to produce $1 million, then you'll become a millionaire. It's as simple as that. So 10,000 items, I want a 1/3 sell through. So basically, I'll show you guys this metric. Basically, with 10,000 items, if I sell 1/3, it'll be 3,000 roughly a month. I want to buy for 10, sell for 30, and net 10. So, pretty simple. I basically want to buy something for $10, sell for 30, and net $10 at the end. And I want to repeat that 3,333 times, which is roughly $1 million business on eBay with around $400,000 profit. That's the goal, and that's what I'm trying to build here. And I think that having that kind of store is literally just doing the activities required in order to achieve that. So I'm going to go over those activities and sort of my pitfalls and the obstacles that are standing in my way. The first part is sourcing. You need to be able to find 3,333 items that you can make $10 on. Now, that takes a little bit of skill and a little bit of patience. I mean, if you're doing Amazon or you're doing eBay, the fastest way to get that many items is definitely wholesale or private label. Either way, you can basically go to the manufacturer and get the items you need at that scale. Or you could go to thrift stores and get them one by one, or you could go to thrift stores and buy bulk, or you could buy pallets. There's lots of different ways to get it. I actually think I can buy 3,333 items. I know where to get the sources, but the thing is I don't have the capital yet. But that's okay because even if I did have the capital, I wouldn't know how to process 3,333 items a month yet. That's the second part. So the first part's buying it. The second part is processing it. So you've got to go through all of it, describe it properly, photograph it, and list it. So I'm experimenting right now with some staff. And I actually think that it's physically possible for one person to list 3,333 items in a month, but it's not really sustainable, and it's extremely brutal to sit in front of a computer and a camera and under bright lights for 8 to 10 hours in order to achieve that. So I actually think it's more like 5 part-time employees. So I get 5 part-time people who can do 600 to 700 listings per month, then basically I'll reach my goal, and I'll have somebody with a great um, supplemental income that they can do. For example, like a stay-at-home mom or a retired person or a college student. They may want that extra income to list clothing. It's not very difficult, especially if you have a little bit of knowledge on clothing, and if you're great with the phone, you can search comps quickly. Comps are completed and sold listings. You can basically go through the completed and sold, see what's selling, describe an item like that that's similar in a similar fashion, and you should have a similar result. So that takes me to the third part, which is now that you've bought all this stuff, listed all this stuff, now you need to sell all of it, and which is basically a combination of pricing and presentation. And the basic rule that I think of is that if somebody's willing to pay $20 for it and you can price it a little bit less, then you're good to go. If you're offering something for 15 bucks, if someone's willing to pay 24, you're probably going to make a deal. You're going to sell 1/3 of your stuff every month. That's basically the goal, is to buy items and buy quality items and sell them for slightly less than they're worth, so I can achieve that throughput rate. Now, I actually thought that was it, but that's not it. There's a lot more problems and a lot more hurdles to reach. Well, and the main one for me right now that I'm struggling with is shipping. Shipping is complicated. Like, this is my initial inventory system, and it was taking me 3 to 5 hours to ship all my items every day, which is horrible. And then I switched to an inventory system where I just had bins. I just had the items inside the bins, and that was all right, but it was still taking me a lot of time. And now I actually have them in the bins, and they're numbered 1 through 30, just like a filing cabinet. And I can just open the bin. Like if I'm looking for 0511, I can open 05. 11's right here. I put this number in my eBay title, and it makes it so I can find an item in 2 seconds. But here's another thing. I thought that was going to make my time a lot, that would help me with time, and it did a little bit, but it's still, I need to go pick all the items, and then I need to put these items into a poly bag, put the shipping label on the poly bag, and then put it in a bag and then ship it. So now I'm always improving. I'm actually no longer going to store them in the clear packages, because since they're already numbered, I don't really need to double check beyond. I mean, I don't need a clear package to see the item because they're in order. So now they're just directly in the poly bag, but I'm not sealing it. So I can check the poly bag, see if it's the right item, seal it, put the label on it, and I just saved one step of transferring it from the clear bag to the non-clear bag for shipping. So one more thing that I need to basically that I need to share with you guys is that I wasn't pre-weighing the items when I put it in the listing. I was just putting an average of 13 ounces for a shirt, which is usually above what it weighs, and putting 3 to 4 pounds for shoes, and then figuring it out later. And that is a huge waste of time, because that means I'm getting all my items before I ship and double checking the weight and then shipping them and changing all the shipping labels. Now I'm going to add that weighing process into the listing process for my lister, so that when I ship, I can just literally print all the labels, pack all the items, label all the items, ship. And so hopefully I can ship 100 packages in under 1 hour with that system. There's 2 apparel companies I'm modeling myself after. One is BHFO and the other is Apparel Save. And both of those companies, their employees ship 200 packages per hour. So even if I'm half as efficient as them, I'm still going to be in the game. And basically, I am excited for the business person that I'm going to become if I can reach this goal. The money part will take care of itself. As far as the skills go, that I don't know. I don't have the skill to buy the items quite yet. I don't have the skill to list it. I don't have the skill to photograph it. I don't have the skill for the customer service required for that many orders, which if you're looking at a 2% return rate, you're looking at 60 returns a month, which is a lot. I mean, that's a lot of returns that you have to deal with on top of shipping, listing, processing. There's a lot of overhead, there's a lot of questions. But one thing that is interesting is that clothing is pretty compact. I actually think that I could fit 10,000 clothing items in a 2-car garage. Um, Based on what I have here, 25 items fit in one bin. 400 bins would actually fit cubic space wise in a 2-car garage. I don't know exactly how to do the layout. On this side, the garage door goes above, so I can't stack them as high as, say, this side. But also, I'm worried about people getting hurt in this because I don't have these shelves secured. I don't know what I'm doing. Someone could easily have a 30-pound bin fall on their head and I would be out of business. So a lot of hurdles, a lot of things that are going to happen during this journey. Please like, share, and subscribe if you think this would be useful for you. Reach out to me if you guys want. My email is 10konthebay@gmail.com. My Instagram is 10konthebay. Have a great day.